September the 8th, 2023. Guys, you're looking at the 5 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time advisory from the National Hurricane Center. What you're seeing here, we're dealing with a Cat 4 at 150 miles per hour. It is slowing down. 156 and upward is a Cat 5. And it was anticipated that it would fluctuate back down after that sudden burst of energy. And it has already broken one record, and that is the furthest out into the Atlantic that a Cat 5 has ever formed. And I thought it was kind of unusual, and most of you probably dawned on you that watched these two, and they talked about it today on, I think it may have been AccuWeather, but it was the first Cat 5 to form this far into the Atlantic. It could go down as one of the top 5 storms in the Atlantic since we've been recording it. And it was one, I think, maybe climbed to a Cat 5 faster, not only just out into the Atlantic, but it had such a rapid intensification from a Cat 2, suddenly a 4, then a 5. That could go down in the record book. So we got to keep an eye on the power of this storm. But by 2 p.m. Wednesday, still a major hurricane. It will probably be a Cat 4 or Cat 3 by that time. But when you say only a Cat 4 or 3, you're dealing with at a 3 up to 129 mile an hour sustained winds still. Let's take a look at some of the other information. Now, I always like to look at Sky Tower, which is Fox 13 down in Florida, because they will add the speeds in with the timing instead of just saying major M throughout here. It gives you an idea of what we're dealing with and the speed. So by Tuesday at 2 p.m., the speed is 125 mile per hour sustained winds, a Cat 3 at that point. But this is telling you what we're going to be dealing with. Now, this is not the size of the storm. It may turn out to be one of the largest storms making landfall in the U.S. too, top 10 more than likely. But that this is where the center of circulation could go, anywhere from this side of the yellow cone to this side. And we've got the Canadian model and the Navy model that are trying to come together with it. Both of them are impacting the northeast U.S. right now in the new update. We're going to take a closer look at the map and the size of the storms as they come in. Now, this is the Canadian model, guys. You can see we're September the 8th right here today. Here's Lee, Category 4. There's a second storm following, and they're both going to kind of run parallel up. And there's an effect, someone asked me about this, and we saw it a few years ago in one of the hurricanes, called the Fujiwara effect. And if two hurricanes can get within 780 miles, I think it is, of each other, which is about 2 of these blocks. I think these are very close to 400 mile sections here. And then they can start to affect each other. And as a matter of fact, they can rotate around each other, and it will be the center of rotation will not be the strongest hurricane, but it would be somewhere at a point between these two, and the weaker storm would actually be pulled into the stronger storm and increase the moisture that's being carried by the hurricane. Again, Fujiwara effect. As a matter of fact, let me run 2 models, and we're going to play about a 1-minute video that's very good that talks about that. But let's play this through because it's important now. We're getting down to where we're starting to see some impact points. Play it through and I'll stop it. We're going to the 10th here. It's about to make that turn to the north. It's going to grow in size. Let me step it forward just a few. Right there. All right, here's the outer edges of the west side of the storm, or the left side. Here is the outer edges. I'm just going to the darker blue. And of the east side, and this northeast quadrant is the worst side coming ashore because everything's turning counterclockwise. At this point, it goes from right here at the tip of Long Island up into Canada. Now let's look at that on the map, guys, just to give you an idea of what type of area we're looking at. Let me just step it through to show you that from here it's predicted to move due north. Again, tip of Long Island coming in right here. Pretty much due north. Very wide storm. Look at that, setting there. Now let's take a look on a map of what that would look like. Now, if you could zoom up on the actual hurricane map, this is what you would see. Here's New York, here's Long Island. That's the west side of the storm of that larger area, and you go all the way up into Nova Scotia right here before you get into the Cape Breton Island area. So if you want to go back and pause that, you're talking about pretty much a straight line northward effect. Let's see, from here to right here into this area. So look at what you're dealing with here. Now that's not the whole storm, that's that deeper blue where you got your strongest winds, that section. So you've got New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts. Now all of this outer area is going to be affected. Heavy rains and everything on this side of the storm is going to be getting winds out of the north as it comes ashore. This side will, say your center's here, this side is going to get the worst part of the storm for all you guys up in Canada, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. And so we've got Maine, New Hampshire, New Brunswick here, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and the outer tips of New York in the strongest section of the storm. Now, let's look at the Canadian model because they don't differ that much. But remember, we are now at the edge of Long Island. Now, let's look at the Canadian map. And if you look at the, or go back just a section there where I was showing Google Maps, this is coming in just a little further to the left, guys, a little closer in, a little more to the west. Let's play it forward. Notice the size increase. Even though it's slowing down, look how big it is there. Stop it. Instead of the tip of Long Island, you're a little further to the left or to the west. And that's pulling it a little further away from right here in Canada, guys, Prince Edward Island there. And it's starting to make a turn to the left. So on the map we just looked at, you'll see that you better be prepared a little further inward. Now, if this storm comes in, let me just back it up a few steps. Right there, let's go back. Let me go forward. All of this storm is going to be coming into the subways and the low-lying areas of New York. We've seen this before, hadn't we? All of you guys up there seen that water pouring in, people flooding, cars rolling down the streets. This is what you're about to deal with. Again, on that Fujiwara effect, guys, that we may be a little further apart here on the Canadian model for it to have that much effect, but we'll keep an eye on it because, not like I said, they will orbit each other or rotate, spiral around each other just like two galaxies, or like the way that Jupiter does with our sun. They don't, unlike most of the planets, Jupiter does not orbit around the magnetic point in the center of the sun. The sun and Jupiter share an orbit point outside of the sun, and that's what the Fujiwara effect is. So we'll take a look at that, and then I'm going to play that video for you. It's only about a minute, so just hang in there. I'm going to back out and let you listen to it. Again, look at what we're dealing with here. September 15th, a week away. I'm going to warn you, just like I told the folks down in the panhandle of Florida. Don't stay there if you don't have to. Now you've got 1 week to secure all your boats and any interest along the shores. I know the hotels and things like that, you can't blame them. They will not pull their chairs and the tents and all the canopies in until the last day. Can't blame them, trying to make money. But it depends on where this goes. I mean, you could be dealing with where Biden lives and that entire group. You don't know. But guys, this is what we're dealing with now. Just hang in here. I want to show you a couple things. One will be the Fujiwara video from the National Weather Service or National Hurricane Center, one or the other, that shows you that effect of these things getting very close together. Let me point out one other thing, because you guys are asking about the Alexa Pure. Now, come to BPearthWatch.com, and the ad is in the same place, but they have changed it at My Patriot Supply. Come here and you support our channel. We appreciate it very much. But there's nothing that we have on here besides my music that is not good for the bug-out situation, whether it's supply food, long-term survival food. Solar panels are the world's best water filtration systems. But click here, you'll see the difference. It was at $179. Probably 100 or more of you guys got you one. Beautiful, because it's a lifesaver. Not only does it sit on your kitchen cabinet, and has 206 contaminants that it reduces. It can fold into itself or flip over and go into itself, and you've got a bug out situation for your backpack, or take to a lake or a river, whatever you need to do. It's a very good system. Click there. Now again, the filter the tank system, which holds 2.5 gallons of water, and one filter was on sale at $179. Normally it was about $269 or something, but even with $179, now you're at $279, but you're getting 3 $80 filters, or 2 extra because it comes with one. But anyway, so you've got 15,000 gallons worth of filtration here. Then the filters can be replaced, and this is probably 3 or 4 years worth of filters, especially if you've gotten 2 of the tanks and you double up on your filtration, things like that, and that's a very wise thing to do. Anyway, so you say you're getting a tank, double tank, you're getting $385 filters, which is $255 for the filters for $279. So you're basically getting the tanks, which is stainless steel nozzle and everything, for just $20 or so more, $24, $24.95 more than just the filters. Now take 3 filters, that's 15,000 gallons worth of filtration. Now if you could find water this clean in any gallon, that's what they call spring water, you'd be lucky. It's probably impossible to do. But say that's $1 or $2 a gallon, just say $1, but it's gone up. So that's 15 grand, right? Now imagine someone backing up to your home with 15,000 gallons of the best, cleanest water you can drink for $300. Someone give me the math on that per gallon, and you'll see the difference between $1 or $2. And during hurricane season, they'll jack these prices up to $5, $6 a gallon on just purified water, which possibly be coming out of New York sewers, honestly. But again, very good. You guys ask about it. This is how they changed it yesterday. Take a look at it, do the math. Also, just with your credit card, you can get interest-free 5 payments, $55.80 a month on your credit card, no interest. If you order now, it is 5:02 p.m. Central Time. If you order within 2 days or in 22 hours, you'll have it on September the 13th. Think about that. Think about also the difference between $5,000 worth of filtration, which is a great deal, and the amount of water that you can filter for your family with 15,000. By the way, the Alexa Pure has 4 holes in the top tank, and they have rubber stoppers in them, and you could put 4 filters in there, but I have 3 in each of mine, and the AquaFlow Max, which we design and build here. Now if you come back to our website, on the left side while I'm here, you can get all 3 of our CDs here, and we're working on the 4th one. But on the Alexa Pure, guys, we invented it, we patented it, we build them here, we ship them here, is the AquaFlow Max. Come here and you'll just see, this is what it looks like. This is the video on it, and it's really a video about the Alexa Pure water filter and this air inflow. Guys, it's amazing. It's like 5 or 6 times the outflow rate by adding an air intake. It's the same thing as if you don't have air intakes on the top of your house, your commodes won't flush, your drains won't drain. Try it. Duct tape the top of your house and try it. You'll see nothing flushes and nothing drains. And what this does is, as the air drains out of the water drains out of the top tank on the Alexa Pure, guys, here it drains out of the top. It pushes the air up in here as the water goes here. So you need a way to get to that air, but it's sealed off here. Now, by the filter, or filters in that case. So if one of the holes of the 4 that's in the top tank, put the the AquaFlow Max that we make in that 4th hole, that allows all the air into the top tank to push that water out very fast, almost as fast as a faucet. You'll be amazed at the difference if you don't have, again, something we did out of necessity. They say necessity is the mother of invention. And when we got our first one, I was noticing some problems with it. So we experimented with things where you didn't have to change your tank or the size of the half-inch holes in the bottom or anything. Everything on this thing is designed to just slip right in, hand tighten it, you're good to go. But guys, we're watching it. Thank you for all your support over the years. We're going to stay on top of Hurricane Lee. It's a heads up, be safe.
The National Hurricane Center is forecasting not one, but 2 hurricanes, and they're both heading for the Gulf of Mexico. The big question by everyone these days seems to be, could they collide and form one hurricane? It's rare, but possible. It's called the Fujiwara effect, named after the scientists who first described the effect. Here's how it works. If 2 tropical cyclones get close enough to each other, less than 870 miles, they start to, as the National Hurricane Center says, do an intense dance around a common center. Then 3 things can happen. 1, if one hurricane is a lot stronger than the other, the smaller one will orbit it and eventually come crashing into it and be absorbed. Or 2, if the 2 storms are about the same size, they can gravitate toward each other and eventually spin off in different directions. And 3, the 2 systems come together to form a large storm instead of 2 smaller ones. These 2 systems in the Gulf